about to die. He should have gone to the website. Use the code Legend15 Nisqy. Phosphorus bomb auto attack. It's first blood over to BDS. He's deep. He has to press E. Straight away the flash comes out as well to Luon. He wants a hand, but Ice won't let him get away. No. SK, what have you got for the rest of this series? Because our first place team in the regular season of summer is getting destroyed.
And welcome back to the LEC Season Finals as BDS take us to match point here against SK, and it has been a very one-sided game compared to the first one, but I want to talk about draft first, because GB, when you're gonna pick red side, and that's what SK did, I don't feel like they made the better use of what you can build on red side here.
No, I completely agree. I think, I actually don't even know why they picked red buff with what they had here, because I think coming out of game one, they thought to themselves, okay, we need different priority picks. I think Sejuani would have been great for them in game one, but they never picked it. It got banned in the second phase. Then in this game again, I don't think they expected to get the Rumble after Adam still had a hard time in lane, but BDS didn't care, so they say, well, we take the Sejuani now. Maokai's already banned. We're super happy. You pick Rumble? Okay, that's cool. We still have an answer to that later down the line.
Yeah, I mean, what I don't really understand is, because by banning Maokai, you like put Sejuani as the only strong tank jungler left. You put her on a pedestal like this, and suddenly you increase the value to pick so much that the other team is just gonna first pick it, and it makes no sense, because what did they actually think BDS would first pick? I guess they thought BDS would take the Ashe, but then the Ashe actually bounced back and they didn't take it themselves. So they kind of just shot themselves in the foot, and they didn't really know how to go on from the draft after that. Right,
a strange read, and on top of that, BDS improving a bit and innovating a bit. We saw the Cassio in the mid lane, it goes to the top lane this time around, from gods to other legends in the Greek pantheon here on the side of Adam. First Cassio in LEC on top lane since 2015, and it had a huge impact.
Yeah, I mean, just look at this fight. This fight looks completely ruined for the BDS, because the Sejuani is almost dead already when it comes in, but the sustained Cassio damage with the Conqueror actually allows him to kite this out and actually trade this 1-for-1, which is, most champions would actually just get two steered here. So I think, and coming into this dive, it's just so easy. They just put the Miasma, they link the CC, the Q is going to connect, and they use dice to all the sustained damage.
Yeah, and you're talking behind the scenes a bit about the itemization as well. Like, he went Sork Boots here, did not have Mercs against any of all this stun coming through. And I showed some stats coming into the start of the day where Irrelevant was definitely looking better. I tell you this time, I'll have to give it to you, Finn. Adam looked great. And honestly, Laure, you say that SK struggled a bit. I think that's an understatement. They got absolutely destroyed in game two. Like, that looked like a game that you would normally have FF'd if it was a scrim and you say, let's just go next and see what happens. Because they were full scaling and no time to actually
scale. That's the thing. And in Reddit check, you were setting up the fact that usually SK, if not on macro, you can expect them on good setups, which is what have been missing here, but I feel like BDS picked up the slack in that department.
Oh, absolutely. I think BDS has actually just been the better team coming into today. Like, I think the early game in game one obviously was very poor, but the way that they've team fighted their way back into it, there's just, there's nothing that's bad to say about it. And in these late game fights we see here, SK is just so far behind that there's no way they can play the game.
It really just seems like they woke up after the Dragon fight in game one, and they had their feet on the pedal ever since. This fight, they just do a clean sweep, they kill the guy here, kill the guy there, look for the Nash, and the game is just so easy to finish out because they don't make any mistakes once they're in the driver's seat. They just keep control of the game and just choke SK out very slowly.
Yeah, and then you end up in this situation when you're on SK's side, choosing red side yet again in what could be their last competitive game of the season, GB. If they have to wake up, it has to be now. Is it gonna come from draft? Is it gonna come from individual performances? Because when you look at these BDS guys right here, it feels like they fixed everything they had to fix within 1 week. I'm waiting for SK right now.
I think it has to start with a draft as well. I think we've come out of 2 drafts now where I think SK kind of had some tools that did not work for them, and on the other side, BDS were very happy with what they had into SK. But I also think from an individual level, I am generally looking at Nisqy. I was checking out his match history, and he had been practicing Smolder. He had been practicing these 80 mid laners. But the problem is right now, you lost that flash. Level 1 in game 1 did not allow you to play the game. You're the veteran, as he said in a video earlier. He needs to be the guy that you can rely on. You need to see him be even with Nuke. And I also think just the Rumble priority is a bit rough for them to play because they can't play fully with these ADs and an AP jungler from Isma.
I think we need to see this Rumble drop, because I think Nisqy needs to be allowed to play his mages. I think they should just pick like Irrelevant, Azir, anything that Nisqy feels comfortable in the way in the early phases, because I think he needs to really have an high impact if they're gonna take BDS.
And do you think they have what it takes to take BDS, given from what we saw from them right now? Because I feel like it gets worse game after game, and I do feel like you doubt your fundamentals when it comes like this. But that's not a question for us. That's going to be a question for casters. Rather, take it away, guys, and tell us what you think.
Thank you very much. Oh, we're full pace. Yeah, going straight into game 3 because pick ban is well and truly upon us. Match point for BDS, Hysterics, Dagda, Vedius. You can call him Daggy if you want. Do you have a nickname?
Vedi.
Anything cooler than that? Anything else?
Andy.
Oh, yeah. Because when people say...
Fighter of the Night Man.
People say, like, you're an Akali Andy. Isn't it good? Because you can use that name, you know, negative and positive. It's your name.
Sometimes I wish your brain would stop.
Well, we can start now because you can start taking over as we go into pick ban. And remember, even though Aurora is banned away, we've got a lot more to talk about here in the priorities. Vedius, you did, in a more serious tone, talk about the need to take away BDS from Sejuani, from Maokai. Those should be the two absolutes for SK going into this
You should
draft.
either be able to get the trade, so you give them Maokai and you take Sejuani, or you get rid of both. I think that the Maokai ban in the previous game just limited their options, and I don't think that the Poppy really delivered in what they wanted. Now they're going to change things up. The Ashe going to be taken away, the Rel going to be taken away. I do believe that SK have the potential to turn this series around, but they need to find a draft that gives them options both in the early game and in the mid to late game. Because I think that what we've seen so far is BDS overall seem to have a better macro. So you're going to have to basically look to try and outplay them in the fights if you want to stand a chance. The Corki going to be taken away. Both Maokai and Sej are available. I imagine that this Rumble Prio is going to just move completely away from SK, and either the Maokai or the Sejuani is going to be first picked here by BDS.
Yeah, I'm curious if they maybe even try for the Rumble on third pick, and then you can try and ban away the Cassiopeia or something along those lines to try and make things easy. But immediately, Maokai going to be taken. I imagine, I was going to say the Ezreal, but Zeri.
Zeri,
and there's the Sejuani.
There's that handshake.
Yeah, I think this is completely fine. The Zeri can be flexed into both mid and AD carry. If Irrelevant is feeling adventurous, you can bring it up top too, depending on how much you've been practicing that. But Zeri, very strong champion in the current meta. And it also kind of opens you up for something like a Yone mid, if you want to, depending on what direction BDS go with their draft. Or you can play towards a strong top side, something like a Camille for Irrelevant as well, given that he will have the counter pick. So.
Okay, so going to bring back out the Jinx. This has been something that ICE has been very much picking up over the course of summer, and it works out where they traditionally go for an early lane swap just to get out of any sort of pesky lane state. But we'll have to see if that is going to be the game plan as we start to run on through. But Nuke, not with the Corki. Does he just go back towards the Lucian and say, hey, I'm going to match that potential AD mid?
Yes.
Lucian. All right, fair enough.
Nisqy's is open.
Oh, yes it is.
Hasn't had it this entire series.
Fine. Yeah, so SK really are just defaulting to, fine, we will play your game. We'll pick strong laners with good scaling. And I think this makes a lot of sense. SK, I think the biggest variable will now be Irrelevant because BDS are going to be forced into blind picking their top. So if I'm BDS, I'm thinking about looking to try and get myself Cassante. And so I would think about banning maybe the Rumble, but Rumble hasn't been that effective this series. Something like Camille, maybe a Jax, maybe something that can give Irrelevant that solo carry potential in the top side.
I mean, again, as well, remember that we've had Renekton up in this series, I think all 3 games now, and it hasn't been picked up. Now with a Sejuani, Irrelevant's favourite of playoffs, just before, of course, they got bowled out by KC in the end. That is also an option here, so let's see. We've talked a lot about top, but supports are the ones being banned. Nautilus, Rakan, engage option after engage option here with less and less being available.
If it's a Braum ban here, I feel like it's going to be a Leona pickup for Luon.
Okay.
It kind of feels like what they're trying to set up for, and basically BDS are trying to go them into it with the Rakan ban as well, force them into that. But it does mean I think Labrov would just be happy to go back towards the Alistar. Again, you're more than likely going to see a lane swap from BDS in these early stages, so just take the Alistar, say we forfeit levels 1 to 3, and we'll just come back later on and try and fight that good fight.
Definitely looks like a Leona coming out from SK. We'll see if they choose to lock that one in, but I would be very surprised if they locked in top next. The thing that's also a big surprise is BDS banning support themselves. I think the Rakan does make sense, something you'll often see paired alongside Zeri, just because, especially when she gets static shift, she's just so safe in the bot lane.
Yeah.
But there's that Renekton.
Okay. So one of the options taken away.
Leona?
I think Leona, and then you just keep the counter pick for Irrelevant on that 5th pick. Adam will probably go back towards something like the Cassante realistically here. Labrov goes Alistar, and then will be interesting to see if Irrelevant wants to go back towards the Rumble or he wants to try to approach it, because Irrelevant also kind of happy to go towards things like the Camille and that kind of stuff, but this would be a surprise. So just trying to take the Cassante away from Adam instead, but Adam is more than happy to take some of his Adam picks into Cassante.
So what is he thinking? Does he want another tank for the team? Maybe because it's just that when BDS go for these type of front-to-back comps, they are relying on Adam's Cassante, and this is supposed to kind of break the formula. But
you could just go Scion.
Yeah, actually true. You go Scion, he could go Ornn.
Well.
He's going to go Kennen.
Oh, okay.
He's going to go for similar team fight value, but in very different ways. Kennen also pretty solid matchup. There are definitely certain points where I think Cassante can have advantages in the 1v1 specifically.
But then I was just going to interrupt Vedi and say, then do you worry about that Leona Alistar trade on the opposite end? Or do you just think, okay, Labrov's like, well, I'm so comfortable in this, forget it, you can have Leona.
Yeah, I think they're more than happy to give Leona because I think they're... Well, I guess...
Lulu could actually go pretty well here. I mean, Zeri Lulu bot lane, plus you get the Whimsy for Alistar if he goes to the engage. You go Whimsy, the Kennen when you go in. Renata could work well. But yeah, I think Lulu goes real hard here.
Dagda. They don't call you big daggies for nothing, do they?
No one calls
don't
him
call
that.
We better start because Lulu just got locked in.
But yeah, I really like it. I mean, it sets up Zeri incredibly well, but just the ease of accessing an exhaust on her, then being able to play for a Whimsy on any sort of potential gauge. This sets up really well now for SK Gaming.
It's a BDS comp.
It is, isn't it?
But it's on the side of SK. And they've said, fine, we've seen the cards that you've been dealt, and now we're just going to play them ourselves. And BDS, they've had to adjust a little bit. With the Kennen on the top side, I think that relying on Alistar to be your initial engage, my opinion on Maokai is that he's not a real engage. His ultimate is more of like a zoning tool rather than a reliable way to start a fight. So Maokai becomes your initiator with Kennen looking for flanks. I think it's going to be difficult against SK's composition with Azir, Sejuani, Cassante, and the exhaust going to be sitting on Irrelevant this time around. The heal going to be coming out from Luon on the bot side of the map.
Well, at least there's an exhaust into Kennen. That's one box checked, but their backs are against the wall. It's an elimination series if you didn't catch that by the start of the show. SK and BDS, it's a fight in that lower bracket. And, you know, thank you very much to our stats team for reminding me that it's funny that in 2023, this was actually, you know, the lower bracket run as well. And BDS actually 3-0'd SK only a year ago, knocking SK out from World's contention. Now, of course, BDS went on to lose to Fnatic, who then made that same run to get into the finals versus G2. But again, for BDS SK, is it just going to revisit? Is it just going to be another book? Maybe another page first in that said book. Either way, here in 2024, in our season finals, we now find out if BDS can clean this up or if SK have got something new in them in this said year. It would be crazy to get knocked out here again in a 3-0, especially with SK's promise through this year. Another reminder to everyone, like, it was 3rd in winter, even though it was 8th in spring, still getting to playoffs and doing some damage to end up 7th. 1st in the regular season of summer. We were thinking, hey, this team with Rahel and Luon, who are looking like the best 2v2 in Europe, maybe they can do it. Maybe they can be our 3rd Worlds team.
But a huge amount of that, again, came down to individual performers stepping up.
Oh, yeah.
Luon with great Alistar engages, Nisqy with incredible performances. But we haven't quite got to see it. Nisqy, in fact, has been struggling early.
Flash from Labrov. Luon in a bit of trouble. He flashes himself. That Lulu is squishy. The damage is now done. Now, that was flash and heal for Flash as Rahel comes through and gets some damage onto Labrov, but there won't be too much else to speak of. So, 1 minute 20, Labrov is going to have a late back.
Luon is very lucky that Labrov isn't running Hex Flash, because that could be such an easy setup, but still maybe, because Sheo looks like he's going to start on his blue on this top side. He could go for a very quick gank onto the bottom lane. I like the early ward just placed in on towards the enemy jungle here, so then you can spot out as SK if that gank is going to come through, but I'd be curious to see if Sheo just tries to avoid that and goes for, you know, level 2, level 3 onto this bottom side.
I just respect that these teams are like, the game starts at level 1, boys. Let's, you know, both teams looked for a topside jungle invade across the first 2 games, and this time they're like, do you want to just go mid? And they're like, hell yeah, let's just go mid. Flash is traded across the boards. A big health advantage for Nisqy to start, but...
Level 2, Nisqy, he might have to flash, and...
That was really good play from Nuke. He really played on the edge there. He's like, will I flash auto? Because you'll die.
There will be a series where Nisqy gets past level 1 with flash, but it will not be this series so far. It has not been a good all time for Nisqy in this lane phase, and now Sheo just opening up more opportunities for himself as to where he wants to try and play around, because you can see the push coming in that bottom side. Again, they haven't spotted Sheo crossing into the spot lane. Way just showing that ward now, so they know that they're free to push this one in. But still, gank bot, gank mid. Sheo's got a world of options.
See if he actually looks for any ganks. In game 1, he wasn't super proactive on the gank front. The biggest difference between game 1 and this game for BDS is that they don't have 3 losing lanes. The bot side of the map has push in favor of SK, as you can see. And meanwhile, Nuke and Adam are getting push in their respective lanes. So Sheo has more options this time around compared to game 1, so he definitely could look for those ganks that you're talking about, Dagda. For the time being, full clears are going to come through from both junglers. Irrelevant. Going to do what he can to get what farm he can as he suffers the consistent poke coming out from Adam.
And I mean, we said it was a bit of a flip, right? And, you know, from game 1 where we saw winning lanes for SK, we are seeing in response for BDS here, not only through mid, but top as we expect. And, you know, this early game for BDS, a bit of pace already built up, and we know that these lanes are so important. We know that for BDS as well, playing off the tempo of mid, it looks like Sheo's going to be doing exactly that as he looks for Scuttle, but Isma has already taken that from his hands.
Yeah, so they will spot out that Isma's on this bottom side, and I think it was nice from Isma to try and get down to this bottom side, cover and shadow Rahel and Luon as they push in. Will be able to move up towards this top side with the control that Nuke has in mid lane to get that scuttle for himself, but still both junglers kind of easing into this game and making sure all their lanes are safe at the moment.
Pressure has to be mounting for SK as they can feel their year slipping away.
Oh yeah.
BDS continue to kind of be the gatekeepers of the LEC this year, firmly holding on to that 3rd place spot where they finished in every single split so far this year. And while they did fall short to Fnatic based on their performance throughout the year, it kind of fits in with that trajectory of theirs. The problem is that they now have to fight their way through the lower brackets, where if they do win today, they will have to go through the winner of G2 versus Giant X. So it's no easy road if they want to qualify to the World Championship this year.
And as Medic said, I mean, getting all the way to finals, you know, that's the only way to do it. If G2 are there, yeah, 3rd place will secure as well, but just getting to 3rd place already, G2 have not only made it difficult by dropping to the lower bracket, but the fact that they won all 3 splits made it very difficult for everyone else. It's so rough. Like, unless you're a Fnatic right now, like, well, all we have to do is kind of do 1 step, but even then, they've got a safety net too.
But I think it's kind of showing that you have to earn your spot coming into the World Championship. MDK still have to win 1 after beating G2. But a lot of these teams now have to run that gauntlet to get there. Nuke, good trade on mid. But still, I think BDS are kind of happy with a slower pace of early stage if they can just get this Jinx into a game point where she can scale. Like you were saying about the tiers in the early stages of game 1, I think the double Gully does a very similar story.
Yeah, these teams are chilling. So we too will be chill.
Okay, I can do that, Vedi. I've been chill the whole time, as you know.
I am aware.
So, I just want to quickly remind, could have done this at the start, but next week, if you didn't know, and you're wondering in this chill time, you have to chill with us on Friday and Saturday instead. So different days, as today is Saturday, and tomorrow is Sunday. I just had to kind of tell myself that because I forgot what day it is. But yes, we are live next week on Friday. So if you're here on Sunday, we will not be. Did everyone get that? You guys, you got that in your book? Good.
Friday, Saturday.
Chill on that one. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
In the calendar.
No worries. It's right now. That was quick. Dragon gets started, and you know what? We go from chill to kind of a rocky formula because BDS, even without level 6, want to contest this. Nuke is walking in, and Nisqy now at level 6 as well, just trying to zone out.
50% HP. Sheo just looks at them menacingly. he can just... Ooh.
Okay, he's just here. He's walking up. He just took it. Nuke just got a kill on the back end. Rahel gets knocked. What? SK just let Sheo walk up. And just like that, the game is in disarray. What happened?
My mouth is left agape, wondering what the hell did I just watch? Like, there was zero resistance. Zero. Like, BDS didn't even run into, like, bad weather running up the river. Like, there was nothing that stood in their way.
A swift breeze.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's chilly.
I want to see Swiffer's reaction.
Yeah, that's a Swiffer moment.
Because I'm baffled.
All right, break
Sheo
it down.
just walks in.
Labrov walks over a ward, the control ward. He sets up the flank and just...
Nisqy just dies to Nuke, who opens up a Culling with no one to protect him.
They get collapsed on 3 angles. It was just so easy for BDS. Now the Jinx has been accelerated. 2 kills for the Jinx. The Lucian is now 1-0 and 2. The kills going on to all the right people. Blue across the board at the bottom. A 2k gold lead already. SK, this is not how you want to start.
Maybe that's the problem. It's the blue that is causing issues here because SK may be defeated by KC is where it started as Adam dodges away. It's a good little glacial opening, but you can see the electricity comes down. 2 members now going to bring it on as Adam at least drops and SK get 1, but Sheo hovering again, the sapling to zone out and Irrelevant doing Cassante things while Isma does survive. It's SK's opener here and there's no trade back.
Nice exhaust from Irrelevant to keep his jungler alive and make sure that they could actually get that kill back. Not quite able to get enough of a distance there for Sheo for Adam to be able to bring Bone back, but overall, at least there's something back for SK.
You guys know that the KC fans are going to be coming out saying that, you know, we broke SK. Because I think they did. Cullen gets Nisqy out of there. He only has a TP in about 30 seconds, so might be rough depending on if he sticks around, but I know that's what I'd be spamming.
It's, I mean, as Dagda said, I think it's still something that Irrelevant gets that kill on the top side. It really helps in terms of the matchup. The Merc Tread's going to offer a huge amount of value. And ultimately, SK still have scaling on their side. If they're able to get to the late game point, we saw BDS lose a bad fight in game 1, and then it was a single fight needed to turn the game around. So I wouldn't say that it's all doom and gloom just yet, but definitely not something I would define as best case scenario.
No, that's nice. But somewhere in the middle.
Like plan B or C, to be honest, it's still very dire. Especially because Ice will start to get up towards this Kraken Slayer and then be able to keep pushing out this wave and make just very difficult for SK to try and hold on to these towers. And you can see Labrov is doing a great job of every time this wave gets pushed in a bot, just opening up, getting vision control, denying Isma access to the map. And it means that you just get to continue to punish through range advantages or just the AD advantage that you have in mid here for BDS.
Grubs are being pinged right now.
There's a lot of things being pinged.
Yeah, a lot of... Seems like the question mark ping's coming out from BDS and they're just warning, hey, Lulu is missing, mid is very prone to a gank, please be careful, Nuke. You can see he's kind of hovering around the top side of the lane. Also getting nice damage using that Q.
Yeah. Shouting on stage, Rocket. Whoa! Okay, well,
nice!
That felt a lot stronger than it normally does at this time in the game.
Perhaps the pings were calculations.
Maybe that was the scream.
He was putting in the difference.
Yeah, he was doing the math. And yeah, there was no ward in that brush, but nicely done.
Really good.
He gets himself another kill. 3-0-0 now for the Jinx. Dagda talked about it in draft. This is a comfort pick for Ice, and he's really been set up for success.
And I mean, even though we're talking about it like, yeah, you know, SK are playing back to front and we're looking for them in a BDS comp. BDS are playing, let's just call it the SK comp for lack of a better word, right? With a 3k gold lead 11 minutes into the game, dragging up already. And it's just going from bad to worse. I like that we're between dire and not
Nisqy.
good as
Nisqy
was caught out. Sheo with a twisted advance. He gets sent back with the soldiers, tries to get out. Shifting Sands is there. Culling now at max range as Nisqy gets tagged out on the back end. And thankfully he holds on to Summoners. That's a win for him, I guess, as Irrelevant is going to battle it out with Adam. The Slicing Maelstrom comes through and Adam knows he has to get out of there before the all-out stops him in track.
And now BDS going to move down towards his bottom side. Sheo didn't use the ult to Labrov. Taking some auto attacks here, but Ice bet to crash this wave. Nisqy's resetting. Is Nisqy going to try and cover with it? No, he's going to TP back into mid. But BDS also kind of setting up in river now for Dragon.
Grubs have just been completely abandoned this game.
They have, haven't they?
Isma's on the bot side of the map there to cover a potential play. But yeah, no cross map available. We're not going to come anywhere close to 4 grubs in this game. And the ulti to interrupt the back. Nicely done there from Ice. Leveraging the ultimate, knowing that there's probably going to be a window where he can't even use it anyway. And so he may as well just be annoying and disrupt the resets from SK.
I also just want to take a second while the resets are coming through to just give a shout out to Nuke. I think he's had an absolutely fantastic summer split and now coming into season finals because his playoffs, look, BDS as a whole didn't look great, but in general, like, he solo killed Humanoid, he's did a ton of solo kills in the mid lane, he's looked great against Nisqy here. And for a man specifically who we talked a lot about having champion pool issues and only having 3 or 4 champions, he's looked great on these AD carry picks. Now still being able to go back and bring out things like the Cassiopeia in mid lane and have some of these pocket picks, he is really taking a massive step up, and BDS as a whole have kind of rallied around that, because when you have that strong of a mid laner, it becomes so much easier to dictate the pace of the match.
And I especially think when Adam was having some downtime and like Adam was a bit controversial at the time, right? As into pause because Labrov is just coming in to say howdy. Isma gets on Analyst, getting 2 grubs. 1 will go to BDS, but that'll be it for the game. But back on the topic is, you know, at least having that step up when Ice is playing well as well, and, you know, you have some of these great Sheo performances. It feels like it balances out the team when it could just go pear-shaped on the other end if Nuke wasn't performing that well.
It could. We kind of reach a potential break point as the Herald spawns now in 30 seconds. The Herald is going to be super valuable, mainly because there's a decent amount of wave clear on both sides, and having access to that objective just makes it that much easier to siege through mid, maybe even just unlock a side. Right now it's Labrov looking to set up some vision around the area, but SK, thanks to securing those few earlier grubs, already have the groundwork for the vision that they need. Nice ward there, spawning out many members of SK. Keep my eyes on Irrelevant. No TP for him. Adam has his available. He's about to tick over to level 11. A big level up for him as he makes his way back towards bot, and the Herald has begun.
On Nature's Grass is what will start it off. You're waiting for it, aren't you? Everyone at home sitting there and thinking, when will Sheo pull the trigger? SK know that, pull back themselves and try and wait it out. And you notice as well, SK feeling a little bit more confident. They've got their first item on some of these carries. Static, Nisqy with the I was going to say Wish and Nashes, excuse me, thank you. Zeke's Convergence also picked up by Isma as well, so it feels like SK a little bit more ready to fight as Herald started off for them, and BDS are now coming in second fiddle.
They did get the push. TP in behind.
Yeah, that TP behind is what I'm looking at. Sheo jumps on in, and he steals it again! Just walked up, bro loves going in for a quick take as Nisqy just dies at the back end. Irrelevant isolated. SK in these team fights. They're like the John Travolta meme. What is happening? Nuke gonna get exhausted. He has to flash away, and Irrelevant, to his credit, he's trying to make something work this game, but Adam cleans him up on the end, and no team fight for SK seems it can go right this series.
It happened again. SK are the ones that set up on the objective, but BDS, they come in from multiple different angles, and it's SK that are getting caught out. Rahel was getting completely zoned away by Ice the entire time that fight was happening, and then Ice just able to join the rest of his team as Adam comes in as well. BDS, they just had multiple angles of attack, and they executed perfectly.
Things are falling apart so quickly for SK. Their chances, their dreams, the opportunity of qualifying for Worlds will be cut short with a BDS victory here. And we look back at the replay, and again, they this time deny Sheo access, but he finds his way in with the W. The smite comes early from Isma, allowing Sheo to get the steal. Rahel, as you highlighted, Dagda being zoned off on the right-hand side. I mean, the Jinx just basically killing the bot lane, and then Adam with a great flash over the wall to really solidify the one team fight, as Irrelevant can do very little on the top side of the map. SK, though, they haven't given up just yet.
They haven't. Nisqy popped his ult as we come back from the replay. It looks like Sheo had to flash in that exchange that we missed.
Look at the rest of the map.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone has already moved in position on BDS to start to cover that top lane play from SK. So Nuke is now to get on towards the bottom side. You already had Ice who was pushing in the mid lane as well, so SK have to try and stop that, and Adam manages to interrupt Nisqy's back as well. BDS, they're denying SK and extending the gold lead.
And look at that mid-tier 1 tower as well. It's just so low. Ice is going to secure it. And it's just a repeat of what we saw in the previous game.
Yep.
It's not complicated, it's just simple macro. They just have smart lane assignments, they send right people to the right lanes. They have enough people to cover for the dive that SK overcommits members on. They send 5 people up there, leaving their bot and mid exposed, allowing BDS to extend the goal lead even further.
And it's got to be heartbreaking for SK fans because it felt like the engine had really gotten rolling with Rahel and Luon, but now it feels like it's starting to sputter and die as SK try desperately again to make a play into the top side, but Labrov in position to cover. New could TP if he wants to, but I think BDS gonna...
I mean, Adam, great sidestep in the meantime though, and he's waiting for the slicing Maelstrom, pops it, but there won't be enough only to buy time. He shuts down, or rather Rahel gets it. Labrov now isolated while Dragon goes down, and he tries to buy time too, but with a Herald out, he's going to make an escape and get on out of there.
Go on, my son.
And they're even going to try and dive bot. Nisqy gets zoned away. Labrov is on a magical journey, but he ain't playing bard. He navigates that wall too.
But the tower aggro, they ran out of minions. And so Irrelevant actually ends up getting killed by Labrov as well. He brings it mid, they secure another tower.
It gets the charge back.
Wait.
He's going again!
Oh my goodness!
It's a disaster.
It's a complete disaster! Wait, he didn't do anything with
No,
Dagda?
he actually just stopped it charging the inhibitor tower. That's all he did.
Oh my goodness. SK, I mean, it's 5 towers to 1. It's 8 kills to 2. This Lucian has a 2.6k gold lead over Nisqy, who finds himself at 0 and 3 once more. BDS are on track to 3-0 in this series. And SK, they showed us promise in game 1, but it feels like that BDS was quick to shut that promise down.
Could not be a worse way to go as well. I mean, getting slapped in the face like this, it'll leave a mark for until next year. And I have to say, for SK, you know, I was personally excited about this team because, you know, you guys already brought it up before. The bot lane that came through, and we've talked about in length for it as well.
They were a very exciting team to watch during the regular season.
They were really fun to watch.
And like that's really the sad part, is that it felt like they were so close.
Yep.
You know, we as casters use this word potential all the time, but we really did see it because they finished first at the end of the regular season. They went 2-1 against Fnatic in the very first round, and we were optimistic after they beat Heretics with some confidence in the lower bracket. And then we saw that series versus KC. They fumbled game 1, and we thought, okay, well, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully coming back in the season finals, they'll be able to rectify some of their issues, but unfortunately, they just haven't been able to.
It has been that mid game where they struggle, but Labrov might struggle here as well.
Yeah, he might indeed. He pops the ulti. Nature's Grasp comes out, but look at the angle on it as well. Cleanse has to be burned immediately. This turn is looking dangerous as Isma gives an excitement over to Ice, and Range starts playing. SK back away, and Labrov is just a babe.
That was heartbreaking. Rahel autoed the blast cone to get himself to safety, but it was right as Isma Q and flashed away, so he just ends up knocking Isma back into the rest of BDS. And with jungler down, that's Baron for BDS.
Look at Adam.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Well, I mean, a hero play from SK is what I'm looking at, because Nisqy needs to get in there with a flash. Emperor's Divide. Health bar's going down, but you said it. Adam now spotted out on a ward, but his angle is just as... Labrov is also coming in. Now onto BDS. There's the knockup for Rahel and Luon. It's great, but Adam shocks him in awe again, but in the pit, Sheo is just trying to take the Baron. He eventually knocks it down, fails his flash. And for SK, I mean, that's still as breath of a light as you can get at this point in the game.
BDS completely fumbled it. They don't go for the engage. Adam was sitting on a ward, which meant that SK were just free to turn on towards Labrov, push him out, and then dive onto the 2 carries of BDS who were completely isolated.
It's a breath of life that SK desperately needed, and Rahel is the one to get the triple kill. Now this Zeri can really get going. And SK, they have an avenue back into this game.
Well, it seems like it, doesn't it? I'm looking at that gold still being so far away, but as you said, the gold on the Zeri, they might just be able to do it. That was a flimsy fight if I've ever seen it. I mean, I thought BDS was still so far ahead it didn't matter, but...
Yeah, I thought, honestly, that they were even going to steal the Baron.
Yeah.
If they could have killed Sheo a little faster, there was a real possibility of them doing that. But the Baron's going to offer no value. It's 50 seconds until The Dragon Soul becomes available for BDS. It's SK that's first to the objective. They can't afford to give up these waves. So Rahel going to catch that one in mid. The tension continues to mount.
Labrov doing what he can with the last remaining Baron buff to see what he can set up. Rahel spotted as BDS. Trying to nearly set up just on mid wave instead. Draw SK out. They're more than happy to just give a Dragon across to SK. So SK now forced back into their own jungle as they try and defend both the mid push and this Dragon.
The thing is that single fight wasn't enough to completely swing the game, right?
Yeah.
They still find themselves at such a massive deficit. There is still a huge wallet diff, but a small glimmer of hope.
Flash headbutt pulverized. Nisqy gets wild growth, but flashes over the wall. The Nature's Grasp again zones him out, and look, they get a free target onto Isma. His team was locked in place. Irrelevant running for his life as the rest of SK are now getting collapsed on. And when we saw a fumble around Baron, BDS weren't going to give any more free skin over to SK. The rocket lines them up. Adam sends them out, and the Zap threatens him through. A new bot lane from Korea. Ain't enough for Ice and Labrov, who've been doing it better since the start of the year. Ice cleans it up with Adam on the back end, and BDS ain't got time for this series anymore.
A Proto Bell pop shot from Adam sets up Ice for the chase down, and as cool as Ice, BDS will finish out this series. It has been a stomp from BDS.
And with one swift move, BDS to clean up the Nexus turret. The death timers are still too low, but it still feels like this game has got a stake through the coffin as, hang on. Labrov, I'm not sure if we're going to get caught out here. Hex gates are in use, but BDS are going to take the safe way out. They're still so far ahead, and the base is in tatters.
It's that engage from Labrov, it was just, SK wasn't prepared for it. It came in so fast. It was a small window where BDS recognized we just have a man advantage, let's just punish them. And Labrov, with a great series overall, continues that level of play, finding that angle and just putting the pressure back onto SK, kind of denying them that glimmer of hope just as quickly as they gained it. And then Rahel, he knows there's nothing he can do. He tries his best with the ultimate, but... And just like that, the game returns to the state that it was in before the Baron.
Yeah.
The soul secured. BDS can easily play on two lanes, as they love to do.
Relevant was spotted.
He's trying to find a flank. But who's collapsing on who?
I mean, Labrov is searching for him. Sheo's going to find him first, and the rest of SK are going to have to come to the play because Irrelevant's got no way out, no way in, and Ice on the back end as well starts zoning them off. You can see, excuse me, this ain't a squishy Cassante. Nature's Grasp for the rest of them. Nuke is going to take him down, and Adam on the back end pummels him into the ground. Getting excited is Ice as Isma gets tagged off the back end, and BDS, they're just taking free kills at this point. They see $5 on the ground, they pick it up. Another 10, it keeps lining up. Their luck will continue to thrive as the TP in, the flash out for the culling. Rahel at 1 HP, gives the final nail in. SK, it's a disappointing end to the year. And as soon as they debut in Season Finals, their road is cut in an instant. But BDS are paving their way. Brick by brick by brick, BDS are returning to form.
A commanding and dominant series from BDS. It felt like that they barely ever gave SK any room to breathe. Fantastic series from Sheo. Great play overall from the team in terms of their mid-game macro. And after falling short to Fnatic 0-3, having a confident series like this is going to be massive for them moving forward in the season finals.
Oh, it's a rinse and repeat, isn't it, of 2023s. You can vote for your key player of the series at LEC, on X, Sheo, Nuke, or Ice. I agree with you, Dagda, but then I also agree with Vedius. Sheo, Nuke, oh, that's too hard. Never mind, I don't have to do it. Thankfully, I don't have to do it. Sheo, another great series, or at least a great series, rather. But Nuke again, you're right, another banger.
But it felt like a go back to what has always worked for BDS. Tank, jungler that can provide engage or provide setup, looking at Labrov to try and be that secondary engage tool alongside Sheo, and then just have those carries coming through and Nuke, Ice looking great. This was the team from spring that we expected.
And a bye to SK in the same vein. Rahel and Luon, exciting prospects in the bottom lane, but we have to see where they end up in 2025. I mean, we saw the potential of SK again. I think Vedi was saying in game, that's why this hurts, because we saw the heights of SK, and unfortunately not living up to it is a sad way to go.
Yeah, it certainly is. And like, we need to give credit where it's due. They did finish first at the end of the summer regular season. They showed us some amazing highlight moments. We got excited for pretty much every single member of this team at some point throughout the split, because the story for them was that there were many star performances from each of the individuals, and it is a shame that we didn't really get to see that in today's series, because I do think their ceiling is high, and we are excited to see many of the players return next year. But unfortunately, this is where their road ends, as BDSs continue in the race, not only for the Season Finals trophy, but also in the race to represent Europe.
It's a fun project as well, I feel like, SK, you know, kind of developing throughout the year, and I mean, the bot lane part of that project. I think there's a lot shown from players like Nisqy as well, when this guy is a bit of a legend in the league, that he's still got it, you know? Not the Fonz, but he's still got it.
Yeah, I mean, it was just unfortunate that we didn't quite get to see him pop off here today, because, again, it has been these individual moments for SK that have really made this team and have made them so fun to watch, but BDS, they are so good at just clamping down on that, and unfortunately, we're just too good at it today.
Yeah, they were a 3-0 in the books. That'll give their confidence going up against GX or G2, the winner of that series in the lower bracket next. But for now, Giniro is standing by with Nuke in the Marriott Bonvoy post-game check-in. Over to you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, and thank you, Nuke, for joining as well. A dominant and convincing 3-0 against SK here in that lower bracket as a best of 5. How does it feel, considering, you know, the game against Fnatic maybe didn't go the way you wanted it to?
I mean, it's feeling really good, right, to actually have a strong showing. Like you said, like the Fnatic and even the previous best of 5, like even in the playoff and everything. Like, we were really aiming to do better and to show that we're not like just the random team that can get stomped by everyone, right? So yeah.
Well, you've proved that here today. But when it comes to that 1 week that you had between Fnatic and the game against SK, what did that look like from your side of things to get everyone on the same page?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it, right? Just trying to... We were really disconnected previously, and today I think we were more connected, and this was the main focus of the week. So yeah, the week, I mean, high pressure, high like work ethic, and then we just delivered today, so I'm happy.
How do you do that? How do you go from being disconnected to being connected again? Because it feels like we're seeing those fluctuations from you guys.
I mean, we were connected in the past, right? And we were playing with each other for such a long time. I think you just have those type of moment, right? When, I don't know, it's like the universe, something just disconnected everyone, and then you have to get back together and like to be a family again and just play good.
Well, you played good today. It showed. I also want to talk about the fact that you're touching upon the pressure particularly, because you're now in this lower bracket, and it is best of 5 games. So it gives teams the chance to adapt, to learn as they go along. How does that impact you as a player?
I mean, the pressure is kind of part of the job, right? You are under pressure to perform every day when you come to the office and when you come to the stage. So yeah, you just have to deal with it and actually overcome this pressure and just perform as you can, right?
You guys performed well, and you also touched upon the fact that it feels like you're all on the same page, which is something that we've seen particularly on that first game. It was kind of early game going more in SK's favor, and then it was a one dragon fight, and it went your way. How do you make that call as a collective? How do you, all 5 people at the same time, realize this is the moment that we need to go for?
I mean, like you press tab, right? There's the 2 drafts. We saw that we have 2 items with like Cassiopeia, Cassante, like the most disgusting comp ever. And we just went as 5 and we knew we would win this fight.
Talking about Cassiopeia, you've played it, but also Adam played it in the top lane. How do you feel about that one?
I mean, this pick is kind of like a long time ago, like sorry, even against like Mad Lion final or like Rogue, I mean, it was Koi, the last year. We just blind picked the champ, and I was actually the one playing it, but now we actually flex it. So yeah, I'm happy.
Did you teach him some moves, or?
I mean, he's like really good on Cassiopeia, so it's like, I think he's maybe even better than me, since I don't like play it that often recently, but he's like really, really good on it.
Oh, there's some really kind words for your teammate, who's actually sitting on the opposite side with Laure for PGL, so let's hear what they have to say.